everyone, my name is Lisa Ann, and in this video, we're going to be talking all about influencers. So we're going to be discussing who these individuals are and how you can actually hire them for your business. Now, if you're one of those people that believes that the process of hiring an influencer is super duper simple, I'm sorry to be the one to tell you this, but you're wrong. Marketers are challenged every single day in how they should let their product or their service be known to a wide and engaged audience. There are several ways to do this, but of course, social media has dominated our culture as well as actually how we do business. Now, influencing marketing has taken the lead in marketing, and when it's used effectively, it can have a big and positive impact on your business. So first, let's define social media influencers. So social media influencers are individuals who have a dedicated social following. They've built a reputation based on their trusted experience in a specific niche. These people would usually post, share, and speak about the topics that they focus on. So influencer marketing means using endorsements and products or service mentions from a certain influencer with the hope of reaching the desired audience for your business specifically. So with so many options to promote and market your brand, why should you hire influencers instead of using the more traditional online marketing ways? Let me start with numbers. There are reports of 5-to-1 returns from businesses that embrace this new emerging type of social media marketing. In fact, one of the stats gathered by Digital Marketing Institute says that 40% of consumers have already made a purchase based on recommendations on social media. In addition, according to MediaKicks, Business Insider estimates that brands will have spent up to $15 billion on influencers by 2022. What can you say about that? Numerical statistics of successful campaigns would prove to us that influencer marketing is really beneficial to businesses. But aside from that, influencer marketing offers something valuable for your business, which is building trust between your business and the consumers by breaking down walls and establishing your brand as a trusted and approved brand by a known, followed, and reliable individual, someone that they trust. Now, like any marketing strategy, influencer marketing requires a specific, deliberate process. You won't find success without a purposeful planning and a well-designed strategy. That being said, I'll be sharing 10 steps on how to find and hire the best influencer for your brand, as well as how to measure the effectiveness of your campaign. So number 1, set a specific goal. Having a defined, achievable goal is vital for your campaign. The goal of your campaign should be business and contact specific. So let's look at some of the most usual campaign goals, which is something that you can choose too. So goal number 1 could be brand awareness. Do you have a new product or maybe a service? People tend to trust peer review. So a brand mention or a product review from a known influencer would definitely help your brand or your product be recognized. So goal number 2 could be to increase your sales. How would it feel to have at least 10% in sales from 100,000 followers? An influencer can direct their followers to your store website by just a single post. Now, another goal could be to increase engagement. Do you have a newly created page? You can drive traffic to your social media page from the followers of a certain influencer. Now, step number 2, have a clear target. Now that you have your defined goal, it's time to set your desired audience. This is important to make sure that you're reaching out to people who are interested in your product or your service. So for example, if you are selling, let's say, a body wash, your target audience could be women who are likely using similar body washes. But defining the gender is not just enough. You can also think of the following. Think about the average age, the profession, the location, the interests, the motivations, the hobbies, or even the digital habits that your audience has. Now, step number 3 is setting a budget. When influencers were starting to get noticed by brands, it was okay to pay them in kind. But now it is rare to find influencers who accept deals in exchange for products. Usually, influencers provide a fixed price list of anything that they can do for a brand. In most cases, the higher the price, the more complex the promotion really is. Now, in addition, established or even known influencers, they tend to charge higher, something that you will want to consider. Now, identifying a set budget will help determine the scale of your campaign. In setting a price, you should think of the benefit of both your brand and the influencer. So this will determine the reputation of your brand. Now, step number 4, choose the right social network. Now, the next thing that you need to do is choose which social media platforms you would like the influencers to have a large impact on. You should consider which platforms your brands currently utilize to share content, or think about what platforms your target audience are likely using. Now, on top of that, you can consider what type of content they might be interested in. Would they appreciate something more complex and fast-paced like a video, or can a simple text post work? You should take a comprehensive look at the different social media channels and be ready to explore new types of content such as podcasts. Now, step number 5, make a list of possible candidates. With the first 4 steps complete, you can now start selecting candidates who meet the criteria that you've set above. This list can be large or small, but I would personally recommend having a large list because we will narrow it down in the next step. There is something you need to consider before you start searching for influencers. This is what type of influencer that you're actually looking for. Now, the following list contains the most common types of influencers. So you have celebrities. These individuals usually have a large following but have a low brand engagement. In addition, hiring one is extremely expensive. Now, another option is macro influencers. So these influencers would have a following of over 100,000 followers all the way up to 1 million. Same as celebrity influencers, they usually have a broad demographic, but in contrast, they usually charge less. Now, another option for you would be micro influencers. So a micro influencer is someone who has 1,000 to 100,000 followers. They are the type of influencers that most brands prefer to be engaged with because they are usually focused on a specific niche and are considered specialists or experts on a particular topic in their industry. So another option is brand advocates. These individuals are relatively new influencers with followers of less than 1,000. They may have a small following, but can also be considered for hiring because they might have the best and the most engaging followers that you are searching for. This part of the process of hiring influencers might be time consuming, but there are ways to make it easier. One way to simplify the process is to make use of agencies or even search tools online. There are a few influencer search engines out there that have a list of influencers that are organized by industry, by category, by language and location. And also they give insight about things like engagement, which will make your search a heck of a lot easier. So step number 6 for you, how to select the best influencer. Now that we have that large list of prospects, we can narrow down the list by adding in a little bit more criteria. So here are some aspects that you can consider. Look at the niche and the type of content that they create. You might want to consider what type of content the influencer usually produces because that's going to be similar to what they're going to do for you. The way that they write or promote their content can also be rated. Now finally, access what niche they deal with. Is it relevant to your target audience and your specific goals? The more specific the niche is, the better. Now, real followers, this is something you should pay attention to. It is now possible to pay to increase your followers on social media. You don't want to reach fake accounts, do you? One of the ways to ascertain this is by comparing how many views per post versus how many followers they have. These type of numbers can be a big giveaway. Now, follower interaction engagement, since our objective is to reach the influencer's followers, it is so important to assess how the influencer interacts with their followers. How does the influencer address their audience in their post? Also, are they able to get people's input by encouraging them to leave comments? Are they active in the comment section? And so on. Committed to the brand is something else you want to look at. Some people only care about the money or the benefit that they get from the partnership, not the perks that they can provide. You would want someone who can provide value as well as be committed to your business, right? Now, controversies. Checking the background of your prospective influencer is also important. This is because they're not just promoting your business, but will also be the face of your brand. Now, step number 7, hold a question and answer session. In this stage of the process, you should have selected at least 10 influencers from your main list. You may now contact them either through private messages or through their contact information that you can find on their website or even their pages, and ask them simply for an interview. There is nothing wrong with asking a lot of questions, especially if you are not familiar with hiring these type of individuals just yet. Oftentimes, people work differently. I've heard of scenarios where some influencers put up a paid post for one day and then they take it down the next. Given their following, that still might be valuable and to provide some level of exposure for you, but it's also possible their asking price may not be worth that kind of temporarily plug. Consider the format of the promotion and the longevity. Know the fine print. Now, sponsoring a YouTube video could be more worthwhile because influencers, they wouldn't take down content that they can still get value and views from in the future. Take this session to ask anything that you want to know about the person and their specific process. In addition, you can ask them for a copy of their analytics to verify the information that you've researched. Now, remember to make the interview fun and interesting, but be sure to focus on getting all of your questions answered as well. Now, step number 8, draft an influencer contract. So after that question and answer session, you should have selected 1 or even 2 of the best influencers for your brand. Now it's time to offer them a contract. All terms of collaboration should be on paper to ensure that the person won't let you down. It should include the budget agreed upon, the type of promotion, and can also include things such as exclusivity. So that would be, would you allow that influencer to promote other products during your contract? You can talk about the term. Would you like to have a short-term or a long-term partnership with that individual? Now, when everything is okay for both parties, you can then finalize the contract and give a copy to the influencer as well as save one for yourself. Now, step number 9 takes us to tracking the success of your campaign. So when your influencer campaign has started, you should pay attention to the metrics of the campaign. You can access the data as well as ask for updates from the influencer specifically. So you might want to give insights on what to enhance or change in the current or even the next campaign, which obviously will depend on what was agreed upon. And then step number 10 takes us to keeping in touch. So after the campaign, stay in touch with your influencer and provide them with feedback about the campaign. Whether it went well or maybe it didn't go so well, you want to make sure that you're being really honest with them. Now, both parties, they might agree on some changes to improve the campaign for the future. Or maybe you can both come up with new ideas for the future. Now, make sure you save the information of the influencer because his or her following know your product, or they may know your brand. And should you launch a new product or service in the future, it would be a great option for you to target that exact same audience. Influencers have quickly captured the attention of marketers as they are addressed as the new and the authentic way to advertise in the social media space. But choosing and hiring one to represent your brand, it's a big deal that should be given time. So have you thought about who would be a perfect influencer for you? It seriously is a game changer and something that a lot of entrepreneurs miss out on. It doesn't matter what your industry is or even what your offer is. It comes down to finding the right person for your brand who has the right audience for your offer. But I hope that this episode has given you an idea on the process of hiring an influencer and spark some creativity of what you can do to grow your business in a different way than just traditional online marketing. Now, if you already use influencers in your campaign, what details do you include in your influencer contracts? Let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear what's working for you. And if you need a little bit more guidance, make sure to click the link that I put down right below this video inside of the description. I put together a step-by-step guide of what to follow to hire your first influencer. And as always, thank you so much for listening. If you know any other business owners who is looking to grow their business using digital marketing and automation techniques, do me a favor and share this video with them. And if you got any value from this episode, please, as always, like, comment, and subscribe to help me understand what content you find valuable most. That way I can make more of it. Plus, you know I say it all the time, the more engagement these videos get, the more people I can help scale their business. But thank you again so much for listening, and I will see you next week. Bye for now.